Here's Buchanan on the right sideline. That's number 12, Megan Lines, with the pass over to Alexis Weingut. And here's the header on goal, but it's saved by the goalie as she throws it back into the field of play. Neither team wants to give an inch. You could just tell both teams don't want to give up anything. I mean, they're just playing just a tough match here. Both sides of the ball, offensively, defensively, but no one's been able to break through. And now there's a couple players on the field down, and there's a yellow card being issued to one of the Stockdale players who happens to be on the field injured on the collision. Apparently that was a yellow card issued to Sarah Friesman on the hard foul. So there's been several yellow cards issued in this ballgame on both sides. And then the red card came out earlier, as we mentioned, to issue to Alexis Perez for Stockdale. So Stockdale's playing a man down. Now there's going to be a free kick for Buchanan and an excellent opportunity to perhaps put an ending to this epic battle between the two clubs today for this soccer championship. As Stockdale tries to set up a wall around the ball, in front of the ball, in front of the net. And hopefully Buchanan is hoping to get that ball perhaps around that wall or over the wall and to get a player free to score the game-winning championship. The game-winning goal, that is. Here's the kick. And it's blocked. And Buchanan does Stockdale does a nice job of repelling that kick and marching downfield with the ball, but it's then deflected and goes back to Stockdale down the right sideline. Now there's a big battle for the ball on the right sideline, kick down to the goal area, and we've got a player free for Stockdale. The shot on goal is saved by the goalie for Buchanan. What an excellent opportunity. That was about as good as it gets, one-on-one with the goalie, but it was right on the goal, right in the center of the goal area by the net, and it was a beautiful save. So the goalie does a good job of saving that potential goal that could have won the championship for Stockdale. Ball out of bounds. Back to Buchanan. There's Buchanan on the right sideline. That's Caitlin kicking it toward the middle of the goal area. And it's battle down there by the goal area, but cleared. Once again, there's another shot on goal, and it's saved by the goalie. So tremendous saves on both sides of the field by each goalie, with game-saving saves. Now we're probably under 2 minutes left to play in this first overtime. Still no goal. There was a near goal, or a goal that was disallowed earlier in regulation by Stockdale, but was disallowed. Now we've had two shots, solid shots on goal here in the first overtime that have been saved. And it looks like there was a hold and a foul called on Haley Newberry for Buchanan. So now the ball goes back on a free kick with Hannah Jones doing the free kick here for the Mustangs. Coach McGowan for the Mustangs trying to direct traffic out there on the sideline. going to be a throw-in for Stockdale as they try to pull off the stunner here in overtime with a scoring opportunity here deep in the Bears zone, but it's cleared by Buchanan down to the midfield area, and a nice dribble to the midfield area by Buchanan and cleared. Ball goes back to Buchanan. And that is the end of the first overtime here. Still no score between the visiting Stockdale Mustangs and the host Buchanan Bears for the Division I Girls Soccer Championship. So they will start another 10-minute overtime period here. I don't think there's going to be a lot of time in between the two overtimes here, as they looks like they're beginning to prepare for the second overtime here shortly, and looks like they're not going to delay any moment here. So here's the second overtime, still no score, and it's sudden death. So whoever scores first will win the championship here. And this is definitely a grueling match here. And this is what it's all about as far as when you talk about conditioning in sports and athletics and why the coach always drives their athletes, their players to work out as hard as possible, to be in the best shape they can possibly be in for times like this. So all that training you go through, all that running, all those drills every day, day in and day out, this is where it comes in handy. This is what it's all about. When you have the conditioning, this is where it pays off in matches like this. Who is in better shape, who can handle adversity the best. And usually that is to your advantage when you get down to who's going to win that final play. And here's a big battle right here, speaking of play, in the middle near the goal area, deep in Bears territory as they clear the ball. But nice tackle there, but it's deflected back to Buchanan down the left sideline. That's Alyssa Kincaid. And Buchanan showing some good defensive moves there. Oh, there's a player down. Ball goes out of bounds. Here's Buchanan trying to get something going here. We're about 2.5 minutes into the second overtime here of this Division I Girls Soccer Championship in the Central Section. Still no score. Out of bounds, Stockdale. Out of bounds in the right corner. That's Bianca Holben with the kick in, and now it's Buchanan, and it's off the right goalpost. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Stockdale with a shot on goal that hits the right goalpost. A near goal. That's about as close as you can get, folks, to scoring the winning goal. That was a nifty move. I believe that was Tala Haddad who had that shot on goal that nearly went in. Here's Buchanan on the left sideline on the breakaway. That's number 10, Caitlin Kreutz, as she gets the ball in, but it's deflected and cleared. Now Buchanan trying its best to clear it out of its area, and it goes to the midfield area. Here's Stockdale. You know, they're doing a really good job, Stockdale, is playing with a player down. I mean, they're holding more than holding their own in this match, considering that they lost a player late in regulation to a red card. And you can begin to tell a little bit of exhaustion now in some of the players. They're slowing down just a little bit. Still a lot of energy out there, but I wouldn't blame them one bit for slowing down a little bit. They played a long time here, and no one scored. And no one's giving an inch, so it's just another example of each team showing tremendous will to play on. Not willing to give up anything. Here's a shot there that's deflected. And now there's a whistle. And it looks like Buchanan will get a free kick here on the penalty. Ball deflected out of bounds. Will go to Stockdale at midfield. That's Tori Blackman on the throw-in. Here's Buchanan trying to control the ball, clear it out of their zone, and they do. Midfield area. Here's Buchanan or Stockdale. Showing some nifty moves out there, but Buchanan somehow takes it away, clears it. Here's Buchanan getting the ball deep, but it's going to be picked up by the goalie there as she throws it back in to Alyssa Damian. Back to Alyssa Kincaid, who has it all alone on the left flat here. Here's an opportunity to get it inside and create a scoring chance here to try to put this game away, but the ball is deflected out of bounds. And ball will go back to Stockdale on the free kick. So we're approaching about 2 minutes left in this second overtime. Still no score. This game started at about 2 o'clock Pacific time. Here's Stockdale trying to get it into the Bear zone, and ball goes out of bounds. Here's a free kick. Ball's loose now down the left sideline. Here's Buchanan. And the ball is out, deflected. So we have to be under 2 minutes left to play in this second overtime. Here's Stockdale. Could this be the goal that wins the match? No. It's a long run for their goalie. But Buchanan managed to take control. And that is the end of the second overtime. And yes, it's still scoreless here in Clovis, California. You're still watching the Division I Girls Soccer Championship live here at Buchanan High School between the visiting Stockdale Mustangs and the host Buchanan Bears. We'll return for the third overtime right after this. Welcome back to PlayOnSports.com's coverage of the Division I Girls Soccer Championships here at Clovis, California, at the campus of Buchanan High. We've got a scoreless duel here, a unbelievable game here between the visiting Stockdale Mustangs and the Buchanan Bears. Neither team has scored here in this soccer final. We've already played 2 overtimes that were 10 minutes each. Now we go to the third overtime, and the third overtime now is only 5 minutes, and every overtime thereafter is 5 minutes. It's a sudden death match. Stockdale remains down 1 player. They had an ejection earlier in regulation, so they're playing a player down, and Buchanan, the host team, has won the last 5 matches. I'm sorry, I was distracted there. The last 5 matches between the 2 teams have gone Buchanan's way, and so they continue playing here. There's a lot of grit there on the field that no one's giving an inch here. I mean, it's unbelievable, this match. So we're looking for someone to put the ball into the net, and now we've got a breakaway by Buchanan as they try to end this match once and for all here in the third overtime, as they got the ball on the right sideline. The ball goes out of bounds, and Buchanan will retain possession. Had a series of great scoring opportunities here in the last couple of overtimes. So here's the free kick into the goal area, and that's cleared by Stockdale once again. There's a fight for the ball on the right sideline. And now it's going to be a free kick for Stockdale. Here's the kick. Cleared by Buchanan. And not only has it been a well-played game between both sides on the field, the players, but their respective coaches for both sides have coached really well, using their substitutions very well, putting in some fresh players here and there, trying to keep play crisp, and it has been for most of the game, as evidenced by some very good, crisp, clean passing on both sides of the ball. And that's in part because of the fresh players that have been coming in and out of the game throughout the match, as we are in the third overtime now of this Division I soccer championship. One for the ages, it has to be, after 2 10-minute overtimes with a couple of near shots on goal that were saved miraculously, and neither team willing to budge here in the late stages of this match. Somebody's got to win, and so all that one team has to do is put the goal in the net, and they're going home victorious. For the loser, it's going to be a heartbreaking loss. I mean, yeah, you want to be given your kudos after the game, even though you may have lost the game, but no one wants to go home after a long, grueling match. You want to win the game to win not only the title, but knowing that your hard work has paid off. And so we'll see who's going to take home the trophy here. Good crowd on hand now, as you can see, the far sideline totally lined with fans from across the San Joaquin Valley. Stockdale, and there's a shot that's on the goal, but it's deflected and goes out of bounds. Another excellent opportunity there. So the ball will go back to Buchanan with the goalie kick. So now we're under 2 minutes left to play in this third overtime. High drama here in the San Joaquin Valley. Excellent day for soccer, as it's been a very nice sunny day with a light wind and just some high clouds, but just an excellent winter afternoon here in Clovis, California. Thank you for joining us. So we've just completed, I believe, the third overtime. And now we're going to start the fourth overtime. So I guess they call it quadruple overtime. That's what I'm thinking. So the fourth overtime, still no score. Two perennial power teams in the central section battling it out here to take home the trophy. And a hard tackle there. Here's the throw in by Stockdale, but it's stolen and taken away by Buchanan down the right sideline. And now you've got Stockdale now trying to tackle the ball away. That's number 17, Victoria Womble. And here's the ball loose as Buchanan tries to control it and drives the ball into the Stockdale defensive zone, but it's cleared away by the Mustangs. Here's Buchanan hoping to end it for the home folks. End it victoriously. Can they do it in this fourth overtime of a scoreless duel? And you got to hand it to both goalkeepers, too. I mean, they've had shots that have been right on, and they've been right there to stop them all. So kudos to the defenses and the goalies in this game. But on the same token, you've got these scoring opportunities both teams have had and have failed to capitalize. And here's the ball into the area of the goal. And once again, it doesn't go in. This is like this match is kind of reminds me of like a triathlon. I mean, it's that. I mean, the endurance that these girls must have to continue playing like this into the fourth overtime. It's simply amazing. And you can see a little bit of wear and tear now on the players. But this is what you train for, and this is what's so fun about this game, soccer. It's just a test of endurance and who can play better as a team. And that is ultimately what it's all about, is teamwork. And whoever can play the best as a team usually will win the game. And so far, both teams have really played to their highest level. I mean, they've done everything they could to put the ball in the net, but it hasn't happened. So now you have the baseball team out here on the field now, the Buchanan Bears baseball team on the sideline watching this epic match. I mean, everybody's out here, it seems now. We've got a good crowd on hand, and why not? I mean, this is a game of the ages. Fourth overtime. Winding down. Will we have a fifth overtime? That's the question. If there's no goal, then yes, we will. But the main thing is that it's a game that will decide who's number one in the central section in Division I girls soccer. And another ball that's in the goal area, but it's deflected and cleared by Buchanan. And here comes Stockdale on the counterattack. Down the left sideline. Oh, a hard header there. One of the Stockdale players goes down. Oh, here we go. Now it's offsides. Unbelievable. And now the baseball team's getting into the act. Now they're putting in their cheer for the Buchanan girls. They're the Lady Bears. They've got the baseball team on their side now. But Stockdale, you got to hand it to the Mustangs. They come all the way from Bakersfield. They've been playing a player down because of an ejection early or late in the second half of regulation, and they're still holding their own against this tough Bear team. And here's the ball loose, and it goes out of bounds. And that's the end of the fourth overtime. Still no score. Unbelievable. So that concludes the fourth overtime of this Division I Central Section Girls Soccer Championship. We'll return for the fifth overtime right after this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
Welcome back to PlayOnSports.com's coverage of the Division I Girls Soccer Championship here at Clovis, California, at the campus of Buchanan High School. And the story is that we have had a scoreless tie up until this point. We played 4 overtimes. And apparently there's not going to be a 5th overtime, but a shootout, as they're setting up for a shootout situation here to finally decide the championship of Division I. They're going to have a shootout, apparently. And so now you've got the first shootout situation with Buchanan taking the first shot. And it's going to be a one-on-one situation between the player and the goalie, and setting up to do the first shootout goal or attempt for Buchanan against the goalkeeper for Stockdale. It's going to be number 20, Miranda Rudolph. So here we go from a set position, and here's the attempt. It's good. So there's the first goal for Buchanan in this shootout. So at this point, they've got a 1-0 lead in the shootout. That's Buchanan. And now it's going to be set up for the attempt for Stockdale against the Buchanan goalie. And I'm trying to get a number on this jersey, but here's the attempt for Stockdale. And there's a whistle. And that will be Tori Blackman. Tori Blackman on the attempt for Stockdale. So Tori Blackman will attempt. And in a shootout, the one-on-one situation, I believe the goalie cannot move until the ball is actually kicked. So they have to make a pretty good guess on which way the ball is going to be coming out of the kicker's foot. As we've got a pretty good crowd on hand to watch this historic shootout here to determine the championship. And here's the attempt by Blackman. And it's saved by the Buchanan goalie. So Buchanan maintains its 1-0 lead in this shootout, as they will attempt to score another goal here in the shootout. And setting up the ball for Buchanan. Trying to get a number on this one. Here's the attempt. And it's high off the bar of the net, so it's no good on the attempt. So that's a bullet that Stockdale definitely avoided on that attempt by Buchanan. And the attempt was made, the unsuccessful attempt was made by Maddie Monreal, so she failed in her attempt. Here's Stockdale on their attempt, and it's good. So they tied it up here. Stockdale has tied up the shootout with Buchanan, with the goal coming from number 7, Tala Haddad. And she was one of the top players during the game, and she had a lot of excellent playmaking ability during that regulation that we just witnessed. So it's going to be 1-1 now, tied. Here's Buchanan with another shot on goal that's blocked and saved. So it remains 1-1. So just like the regulation and overtime periods, it's still basically a tie situation because both teams have scored goals now. So this is going to be another attempt coming up for Stockdale to possibly break the tie. The question is how many attempts it will get. So on the next attempt for Stockdale, looks like it's going to be number 6, Caitlin Thatcher with the attempt. And it's high and wide. No good. So it remains 1-1. Tied up How fitting. We've gone through regulation, we've gone through 4 overtimes, and now it's still tied in the shootout. So something's got to give. So next up for Buchanan is number 12, Megan Lines. Megan Lines setting up the ball on her attempt to break the tie and give the Buchanan Bears a lead. And here's the attempt, and it's good! So Buchanan scores its second goal in the shootout and leads 2-1. So I would think if number 4 for Stockdale doesn't make her attempt here, it could be over. She's got to make this goal not to go down and further down to Buchanan. So here's a very important attempt here in the shootout for Hannah Jones. And it's good. And that ties it up. 2 goals apiece. So what else is new? It's still tied. And walking up to the ball now for Buchanan is number 10, Caitlin Kreutz. That was one of the players that Coach Ramirez for Buchanan mentioned as one of his star players in the game. Now she's going to make this attempt. Right now it's a 2-2 score in the shootout here of this championship match. Here's the attempt. And it's good. So we've got now Buchanan ahead 3 goals to 2 in this shootout. And now it's Stockdale's turn. The Mustangs. They've got Bianca Hoban now setting up for the possibly tie. And it's good. 3-3. We're never going home. So it's 3-3 now. Now what do we do? Okay, we continue with the shootout. Someone's going to miss sooner or later. High drama in Clovis. And next up for the Bears. Trying to find a number here, but here's the attempt. It's good. 4-3 in favor of the home team. So it's 4-3. Number 3 up for Stockdale. That's Caitlin Garibay. Here's another big attempt. It's good. Well, you know what's really ironic, too, is that we've gone through regulation, no score. We've gone through 4 overtimes. There was no scores. And then we had a bunch of goals recently just now in the shootout. But now the goalkeepers who were so fabulous during regulation and 4 overtimes are now giving up some goals here. So, yes, something is giving here. Something's got to give. So here we go with the next attempt to break the tie in the shootout. It's good. So now it's Buchanan leading 5-4 in the shootout. And number 18 is up, Monica Torres for the Mustangs. Trying to keep her team in the thick of this championship match. And she does it. No problem. 5-5. This is the longest shootout I've ever seen. I mean, I've been through some soccer matches, but I've never seen one this long. I mean, you see shootouts like in hockey, the National Hockey League, but never this many attempts. But this is how evenly matched these two teams are. Here's the next attempt for Buchanan. And it's good in the upper right corner of the net. Beautiful shot. And it's now 6-5 in the shootout for Buchanan. Okay, next up is Stockdale. Another big moment. Oh, a save. And it's all over. Buchanan does it again. They have won the girls' Division I soccer championship in the Central section as a result of outscoring the Stockdale Mustangs in the shootout after 4 overtimes and regulation of no goals. They come up with a total of 6 goals to 5 goals for the Mustangs to win the Central Section Division I Central Division I Section Championship for girls soccer. And so once again, the final score is going to be actually 1-0 in favor of the Buchanan Bears, and they win the Central Section Division I Girls Soccer Championships. That's going to wrap it up from Buchanan High School, where, yes, the Buchanan Bears hold on and outlast the Stockdale Mustangs 1-0 after 4 overtimes and a shootout to win the Central Section Division I Girls Soccer Championship. We'd like to thank you for joining us for PlayOnSports.com's coverage of the Central Section Championship match from Clovis, California. Be sure to check PlayOnSports.com for information and links to all of our upcoming broadcasts. For our producer, Jordan Eswine, and our videographer, Jason Phillips, I'm Mark Espinoza saying so long, and we hope you'll join us again on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.